Hello there, world of takers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Drooldles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be doing a review on the WZ-111-5A, the Tier 10 Chinese Collector Heavy Tank, a vehicle for many years which was my favorite Tier 10 Heavy. However, I think the AMX M4 is still taking the cake for my favorite after Wargaming has just made it so dang good. However, the 5A is still easily in one of my top 5 favorite Tier 10s. It's just such a fantastic vehicle. First of all, in Update 9.2, the 5A got a massive gun buff. Its damage per minute sits at 2,826, making this one of the higher damage per minute heavy tanks in Tier 10. Not only that, but this vehicle also features really good alpha at 460 damage per shot, and absolutely fantastic dispersion at 0.326. You think about all those values there, and you realize just how good of a gun the 5A carries. Really, the only downside of this tank that I've been hoping that Wargaming will fix is the very poor penetration of 303 millimeters. That is not enough to cut through the majority of Tier 10 heavies, even on flat ground some of the times, like, let's say, an IS-4 upper plate. However, I will say as long as you know where to aim on weak spots, you'll pen the majority of your shells, especially with such good accuracy, and I am running gun rammer, so that is another thing to point out. When it comes to the mobility, this takes fairly fast, 45 kilometers per hour and 15 in reverse, so it's not bad on top speed or reverse speed, and when it comes to the gun depression, it sits at 7 degrees, with one of the most well-armored turrets in the game. You do have some weak spots on the roof, being hatches, but as long as you use your gun depression, the hatches are almost impossible to see. Yeah, you can see them at certain angles, and you might get penned, but it's maybe 1 out of 5 or 6 shells are actually going to end up hitting your hatch, which makes this a pretty solid tank in a lot of situations. The real downside of the 5A is when you drive it out of cover. Its hull armor is not good by any means. The upper plate is about 250 on flat, which means the majority of Tier 10 mediums, heavies, and even lights are going to quite easily cut through your upper plate. The lower plate's actually quite nice, though, at about 220 thick. That means if you do angle it quite steep, it might be troll and get a bounce here or there. But that's, as I said, the one downside about the 5A is the hull armor is not great. It's not like an IS-7, it's not like an IS-4 where you're going to get a lot of bounces, but it is nice on the mobility, as I said, and the gun depression is flexible, and that gun just makes it so dang enjoyable to drive. So we got another super strong heavy in front of us, being the T95E6. However, that player appears to be driving to get a shell into my 121. We get a nice slap in, but oh boy, this is not looking like a great battle to start off with our oh boy, good job, Object 268. I don't really know what to say apart from good job. We are already down 2 Tier 10s, which means, yeah, this is probably a loss if I'm going to be completely honest. We're going to aim it on the 268 here. There you go, get a nice slap for 490 in. You can see where the gun on this tank is pretty solid. I mean, you don't need to struggle at all with penetration on your opponents as long as you aim correctly. Unfortunately, we did end up bouncing that T95E6 hatch there, but not much I can really do about that. That E4 is just, I don't even know what the E4 is doing, if I'm going to be real. Come on, I can get a shell into the 50B. Ooh. Bonk! Yeah! 593 slap into his turret with a high explosive. And that is one thing that is absolutely fantastic about this vehicle, is the high explosive damage. It hits really, really dang hard. So we got the E6 over here, and as you can see, E6 is trying to hit me, and not only pens me, but hatches me for 500, which is honestly incredibly cringe. I can't even believe he hit me for that hard. Let's get a nice shot back into the E6, though. He's now not too happy, I bet, about that, but we're just gonna back on up, and there you go. Nice! E6 gets cleared. Okay, we got the Kron off to the side. We get a nice slap into the Kron, but for some reason he almost outtrades us, which actually kind of sucks for me. It's down to 2 vehicles left at this point. Let's go for another shell into the Kron, but I mean, at this point, it's not really going to matter all too much. We got that Object 140 peppering me. We're going to try and get one more shell in. And you know what? I'll take it. I mean, I got pretty good damage out this battle, 4,333. Unfortunately, my 121, my E4, my Type 70, everybody just kind of YOLO'd this game, which sucked. I was just trying to hold the best I could. And this definitely could have been a win, but oh yeah, and I forgot about my 268. now that I see my 268 dead, that was a pretty quick death from him too. So I'm a little scared to see how our team ended up performing here. But oh boy, here we go. Oh yeah, not the best result. The E50M didn't do too bad, but Oof, the rest of the team fell apart incredibly fast, so that's a bit unfortunate. But as you can see, the 5A in the first battle performed very well. The gun was able to very easily cut through our opponents. I think we only bounced one shell, which was on the enemy E6's hatch, which was a bit bad. I mean, it wasn't bad shot or anything. It's just the E6 hatch is very troll to hit, especially when it's moving back like that. But it's a bit unfortunate that didn't pen, because if it had of, it actually might have been a much higher chance of winning due to the fact that I could have cleared him and then dealt with the 4005 and tried to push a little bit harder. But because it took me a little bit longer to get through the enemy, we just couldn't get the time to win. But I can't complain. We did our job, and we did pretty solid. So, second battle, we have a 4005. We've got a 215. Interesting. They got 2 Sheridans as well. What the heck is this lineup? 4 mediums. They have 1 heavy. And we have 2 heavies, so we are already at a pretty big disadvantage here. I feel kind of bad for this VK90. I wouldn't want to be in a VK90 in this situation. Also, how much health does that guy have? I can't read it. 2,450. What? I don't think I've ever seen a VK90 with that low hit points. It's always like 2,006, 2,700. I think mine's got like 2,850 or something like that. It's just weird seeing a VK90 with that little health. Now, because we can see what the enemy lineup is, I'm just going to go all the way to medium side, because why wouldn't I? I mean, it's basically free to do this. So I'm going to push all the way over here. We got the Sheridan off to the side. We got the Leopard over here, so we're going to name it on the Leopard. And wow, that was absolutely a ripoff of a shell. Well, the good news is we're just reloading. We got the Leopard over here again, and okay, there you go. Nice slap. Sheridan gets a nice pen into me, but it's going to suck for him a lot more than it's going to suck for me, because now I'm going to push the Sheridan. He's going to try and run away. I'm just going to give him a big old slap on his booty. I was thinking about shooting HE, but it didn't really matter, as you could see. So we got the enemy Sheridan still bailing. We're going to see if we can slap a shell into his tank. Yeah, 505 slap. Unfortunately, it appears the rest of my team just bounced all their shells. But at least we got a big ol' slap-a-rooney into him. Okay, well, oh, it went low. Oh, that's so cringe. Unfortunate. Well, we got the Girl 15 off to the side, who I'm reloading, and maybe we'll get a shell into. I don't really care if he pens me, to be real, because it's a Grill. I mean, the dude doesn't have nearly as much health as me, and he's already down half of it. So, with that, pretty solid situation we're in so far. M48 Patton's been spotted. 4005's been spotted. I'm just going to push on up. Maybe that Grill will poke me. Maybe he won't. Just trying to think about what the best decision is. That Sheridan's still alive, too, which is actually pretty crazy. I thought that Sheridan would be dead, but I guess he was able to get away. Alright, well, we're going to push this Grill. He just got shot by, it looks like, the Sheridan, and we're going to see if we can get a shell on ourselves. Not yet, though. Unfortunate. Grill's running, and he's not going to get very far. We're going to try and slap him right here, and Cubonk, there you go. Nice 460 damage shot. That is where I do really like the alpha of the 5A. The fact that you can just easily outtrade your opponents allows this tank to feel so dang nice. But as you'll notice here, a perfect example of where the armor on the 5A just doesn't work incredibly well. I mean, this, oh, 350? I think I just got a mineral. Wow. Okay, well, that was unfortunate. But as I said, the armor on the 5A doesn't really work great. I mean, that Patton cut through me every single shell, and that makes sense, because the armor on this tank, as I said on flat, is bad. But that's why I use it hull down. That's why I use it strategically against your opponents. This is a pretty solid battle. 3,211 damage dealt. We penetrated all of our shells to what I'm aware, apart from that one that missed the Leopard, so pretty solid game overall. I really like the 5A. It's a fantastic vehicle, and it can definitely do a pretty good job against your opponents if you understand how to work it. That gun is great, the accuracy is fantastic, and the alpha combined with those other values allows this tank to be so aggressive on the battlefield. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.